to my channel, and today I'm going to show you how to make creamy Cajun pasta. Now I do have this a lot and I get asked a lot on how to make it. So I think originally it was a Pinch and Nom's website, but I'm going to kind of do the version that my group have sort of done. There's different versions around, but this is the version that I always do and I just love it. So let me show you what ingredients you will need. So the ingredients I have here is for 2 portions. So I will go through everything with you. I've got 2 chicken breasts here that I just cut up into pieces, and a red onion. You can use a white onion, whatever you prefer, but I've tried both and both work well. With regards to vegetables, you can add whatever you like. I like green pepper, red pepper and mushrooms. Now I'm not a really great fan of green pepper, but in this dish it works really well. Another option is mushrooms with courgette, or red peppers with baby sweet corn and mushrooms. Just add whatever you want. I think courgette goes really well. I've tried all different ones, but this is what I'm going to use today to show you. You will also need pasta. I think the recipe tells you like 200 grams of pasta, which is a lot. So I have measured out 150 grams, which will be enough for both me and Darren. He tends to have a slightly bigger portion than me, so he'll just have a little bit more. So 150 grams, which I've actually put in here already, and I will cook that in a minute. So you will also need garlic granules. You can use fresh granules as well, fresh garlic as well, which I have used. I'm actually all out of it, it's all dried up, so I'm going to use garlic granules today. Frylight, I'm using garlic oil because I've, as I said, I've run out of fresh garlic, so I'm going to use that today. I use the coconut one as well, and that works well. Cajun seasoning. Now you can use Cajun seasoning, you can use fajita seasoning, whatever you prefer. This one is sin free. I've also used the JD seasoning one, either the Cajun or the fajita. Either of those I've used and both work really well, but I've got some left in here, so I'm going to use that. I would say, I'll show you as I go, but you literally just season it to your taste. A chicken stock cube, and you will need some hot water, so boil the kettle. And this stuff. Now it tells you to use 110 grams, which is 2 portions of healthy extra A. I tend to use half a tub, so 125 grams, that's 60, just over 60 grams. I tend to use 55 grams, which is 1 healthy extra A, and because I only use half my healthy extra A. But to be honest with you, taste wise, it's either is, both are nice. It's just if you want a bit more cheesier and you want to use your whole healthy extra A, then I would use the like 110 worth, which is 55 grams per portion. And then last but not least is spinach. This gets put through at the end, and it just kind of bulks it out. If you don't like spinach, I've used it without spinach before and it's still really nice. I do like adding spinach. So those are the ingredients that you will need. So let's get cooking. So I've got my pasta on the go, so I'm just going to cook that. I prefer to use the macaroni pasta, which is this one here. I just prefer the texture of it for this kind of dish, but you can just use any sort of normal shaped pasta like the tubes. I've used the bows before, they all seem quite nice, but this is my favourite. I'm also going to heat this pan just a little bit and spray some frylight in it. Got to squirt till it hurts. So I'll just let that heat up a little bit. And as I said, you can do the chicken separately if you prefer. I don't. I just prefer to just bung it all in, and it works well for me. Plus it saves on washing up. So I'm just going to add the chicken in. And I'm just going to cook that until it's all sort of turned white and ready, starting to brown. So I'm just going to add the onions now. I've just turned off my pasta because I think it's pretty much done now, so I'm going to drain that in a minute. I'm just going to add my onions, just get them, start sweating them out really. I've also made my chicken stock for now. I've just used about, how many grams is that? Sorry, how many millilitres is that? It's about 200 millilitres, but you won't need all of this. It's just for flavouring, but I'll show you when you use that shortly. Right, so I'm going to sweat the onions out now. And whilst they are cooking, I'm going to add my my Cajun seasoning. Now, I tend to use a little bit now, and I don't weigh anything out, but I suppose that is probably about a tablespoon, but it's up to you on how hot you want it really. If you don't like things too hot, I would just add a little bit, like maybe a teaspoon or half a teaspoon to begin with. You can always add more. But I'm just going to let that cook for a little bit and let the onions sweat off. And I'm going to go and drain my pasta. So now the onions are sort of sweating off now. I'm going to add my other veggies, which are the peppers, mushrooms. There's lots and lots of speed in here, and obviously you're going to have your spinach as well. So I'm just going to stir this around. I usually do make it quite spicy, so what I'm going to do this time is I've added quite a bit of Cajun spice. I might just leave it and then taste it later. Oh, peppers escaped. Oh, and a mushroom and another pepper. And I'm just going to let this cook for a little bit. Before I add my spinach. Oh, I also forgot to mention, I'm going to add my garlic granules, just a sprinkling, just to give it a bit of a more garlic. You can really taste smell the garlic from the frylight, so yeah, it's going to be quite garlicky. But yeah, I'm just going to let that cook for a little bit. Right, so it's been cooking for now for about sort of 4 or 5 minutes. The peppers are starting to soften, so I'm going to add the spinach. Again, I don't really weigh this out. I just add usually about sort of a third of a bag. I like to have a lot, but I do also add some on the side as well, so just to up my speed. So what I do now is I put the lid on it just for a few minutes, just so the spinach wilts down, but just taking it off every couple of minutes just to stir it down so that it doesn't stick to the pan, because yeah, I've forgotten about it lots of times, but I always seem to manage to resurrect it. So yeah, I'm just going to leave that for a few minutes with the lid on, just to steam that spinach down, and I will come back to you. So that has been cooking away for a good 2-3 minutes now. So the spinach has wilted down. I've taken off the lid. It needs for me it needs a bit more spice, but again, just sort of taste it. So let that cook down for a bit. I'm going to add a bit of the chicken stock. It just gives it a bit of flavour. If you haven't got chicken stock, vegetable stock will be fine, and it will just make the creamy sauce creamy and runny. Right, I've just measured out 55 grams of the seriously strong lighter spreadable cheese, which is 1 healthy extra A, but as I said, this is half my healthy extra A. Darren doesn't have any healthy extra A's, he eats whatever he wants. So you just kind of mix it around so that kind of mix it around so it's like a cheese sauce, and it gets some of that Cajun flavour in. As I showed, I only use about half of that chicken stock, and I probably won't use the other half just yet. I'll see. Right, I'm going to add the pasta now. Some people do add it a little bit later, but I'm just going to add it in there now so it can get some of the sauce. It's gone a bit funny, but it will. This is where you might need the other bit of the chicken stock just to loosen it up a bit. It looks like it's going to be all right. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the lid back on it just to kind of soften everything up again and get some of that flavour in. So I've just tasted all the vegetables, and the peppers and everything are now all soft, and yeah, it's ready to go. So here it is. This serving that I showed you in the pan will probably serve actually 4 portions. I tend to have sort of a quarter of it, and I then put the other half with some more spinach for extra speed. Otherwise, the other half a portion of it would be this portion here. That is for Darren, so that will be his portion and this will be mine. And we've also got some left in there, which Darren will probably have either for lunch today or tomorrow. But yeah, it makes a big large amount. It probably would be enough as well to feed 4 people, or at least 3 good sized portions. So thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and leave any comments below. The recipe, as I said, is over on my Instagram, which is linked below. And if you go to the highlights section, which is food, in there is the recipe, so you can take a screenshot if you would like. But it's quite straightforward to make, and we have this a lot, so we really enjoy it. So if you like spicy food, it's definitely one that you need to try. Thank you for watching. Take care, everyone. Bye.